You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, reality TV fans. This is SoapDirt.com, and we have a burning Sister Wives update for you. We are considering the question, is Kody Brown engaged to David Wooley? Because Paedon Brown dropped a big hint in a recent video. So Sister Wives ex Kody Brown could be planning to remarry based on something Paedon Brown said in his recent TikTok live. He dropped some information about his mom's relationship with David and her past with his dad, Kody, but was there a hint of marriage plans in his commentary? To my ears, I heard it. Let's see what he said and see what you think. The overarching thing that people picked up from listening to this TikTok was that Paedon was saying that his mom is moving really fast. That's interesting, and I'll go over that with you, but then he said something drastically different that is kind of jaw-dropping. So in a recent TikTok live, Paedon Brown, son of Kody Brown and Kody Brown, spilled his thoughts, and maybe a little more, maybe some tea, about his mom's new romance. If you've been under a rock and not following reality TV news, Kody has been gushing lately about her new boyfriend, David Wooley, and her new life in Utah. So while the Sister Wives co-star has the support of her kids, and all of her kids are grown except for Kody Brown, who's a tween, all the kids are still cautious. They don't want Kody getting in over her head. Understandable. So we've got the transcript of what Paedon Brown said on his TikTok live, and we have questions about the implications of what he said. Is Kody engaged to David? So the first section of what he said relates to Paedon cautioning about the speed of his mother's new relationship now that she's done with Kody. And I'm going to read you exactly what he says. I'll tell you when I'm starting the quote and ending the quote. And he goes from kind of first person to third person, like he's speaking to her and then speaking about her. So don't get confused. Here's what Paedon Brown said. Hey, Mom, you're going really fast. I'm not telling you to slow down. I just want you to be aware that you're rushing. You were in a bad relationship. You've been in a bad relationship for years. She was in a bad relationship. It was good at one point. It was actually good at one point, but at least for the past 5 years, at least for the past minimum 5 years, you've been in a bad relationship, and I'm really sorry about that. But now that you experienced a good relationship with Dad or a bad relationship with Dad, you're now rushing into this relationship very quickly. That's the end of that quote. So he kind of was talking really fast, so he kind of stumbled over himself. But what he was basically saying is that he's really sorry that his mom was in this bad marriage. He knows their marriage was good for a while, but for at least 5 years, it was bad with Kody. And he's happy she's in this new thing, but he thinks it's going very quickly. Then somebody interrupted with a comment, a TikTok watcher, and said he shouldn't be talking about his mother's love life. But then Paedon Brown clapped back, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to comment on my mom's relationship as she's my mother. And then he continued to comment on it. So the next thing Paedon Brown said was he would never be close to Kody's new man, acknowledging the fact that he is a grown-up. He has a father, Kody Brown. So this new man in Kody's life, is not going to be a dad role. He doesn't need a dad. He has a dad. So this is what he said next. I'm very happy for her. I'm very happy that she's happy. It's absolutely amazing. She asked me how I feel about him, talking about David, and I told her that I'll probably never be very close to him. But it was what came next that triggers our question, is Kody Brown engaged to David Wooley? Real quick, a glance back at the relationship timeline. Kody Brown left Kody in November of 2021. So as of now, it's been about 18 months that the former Sister Wives star has been single. Then, a little more than a year later, she began dating David Wooley exclusively. That was in December of 2022. So now we're just a few months in, from December to the basically end of March. So that's what, January, February, that's like 3 months. Maybe 4 if they started dating at the beginning of December. 3 to 4 months. Just a few months in, and she's calling him the love of her life. And they call each other king and queen. And she always talks about how amazing he is. She just gushes over him constantly. But is there more to it? Is Kody Brown making a plan to marry David? And is that why Paedon says she's rushing it? Consider what he said next in his video chat. My mom wasn't close to her stepdad. My mom was never close to her stepdad, and that's okay. And then he made some more comments about how his roommates aren't close to their stepfathers. And then he adds, I'll probably never be close with David, but that's perfectly okay. She's happy. I'm very happy for her. She can move as fast as she wants. She's an adult. I'm just looking at this as her son thinking, oh, okay. But it's completely up to her to decide what she wants. It's her life. So what we wonder, is Paedon spilling a little tea here? Was he hinting that Christine and David's relationship has leapfrogged to something more serious? Because he's not saying, I'm not going to get close to my mom's boyfriends. I have friends that aren't friends with their mom's boyfriends. He talked about Christine not being close to her dad. It was this back-to-back stepdad, stepfather, stepfather. He was talking about how adult children of people and not necessarily being close to their stepfathers. The repetitive usage of stepfather makes me think that he might be referring to them moving fast and getting more serious and getting engaged. So was he implying that David's about to be his stepdad? He didn't say boyfriend. He didn't say mom's friend. He didn't say anything. It was stepdad. So, and then the comments got even weirder. So another strange thing that came out of Paedon Brown's mouth was in response to a question. Somebody asked, why won't he get close to Christine Brown's boyfriend? And he said, I don't know. I can't give you exact details. The amount of times we've talked, the things we've talked about, were both standoffish. And then he talked about them being tall, and he just kind of rambled. Then he circles back around and says, it'll never turn violent. I'll never hit him. And he's a completely wonderful guy. And it'll never be super close. So the section of the quote I cut out was like just him rambling about how they're standoffish, and everybody is kind of standoffish except for Truly. And he kind of stumbled over his words. But then this weird thing about violence. So the huge takeaway is, why is he talking about getting violent with his possible future stepfather? Why did an act of violence even pop up in Paedon's mind when talking about Christine's new guy? It's pretty strange. But in the end, what we heard is all this stepdad talk. And that stepdad talk about not getting along with your stepdad raises a big question. Is Christine Brown rushing, which is what he called it, rushing because she's about to get married? Is Christine engaged to David Wooley? And if so, will her wedding feature on TLC in season 19? We already know that season 18 has wrapped, and we've heard that David will not be featured on screen as part of it, but there is filming going on at Christine's home, and the rumor has it that David was involved. So are they just back-to-back shooting season 19? And if so, will we see Christine Brown marry David Wooley? What do you think? Do you think that Paedon's words are hinting at something with all of his stepdad talk? Maybe. Check back with SoapDirt.com for tons more Sister Wives updates and news. Be sure to follow us on your favorite streaming platform for our podcast, or check us out on Spotify, and head over to our YouTube channel and check out all of Soap Dirt's reality videos there so you can stay current on all the latest news about your favorite reality TV stars. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.